There are some lies in our science books. Taught it for 15 years. Even though I'm not teaching it anymore, I still like to study. It's so many neat things to learn. We're going to cover some of that tonight.
Perception is being managed. We are being steered and guided by a hidden hand.
The whole world has been duped by the media that is not real.
Smart thinking, possible time traveler, smart thinking.
That night, boom, contact memory.
And then just, Alex, if you don't agree, you'll be sent to a re-education camp.
Just because I'm old doesn't mean I've lost my touch with the ladies.
A lot of people here tonight felt like they lost. You know why?
Now, experts are suggesting that we're in a golden age of shape-shifting reptilian sightings. Now, why is that?
I was, and still am, a huge conspiracy guy. I literally ran out of new tin hat topics to research.
It was most definitely not capable of melting steel.
Then I would be a crackpot if I thought that was the case.
This is the Hypothetical Institute, a podcast about... Oh, what do I say? Welcome to?
Well, yeah, you say welcome to. What is this?
That's new year, new me.
Okay, no, I'm into it. Do it.
No. Welcome. Welcome to the Hypothetical Institute, a podcast about conspiracies.
My name is Luke.
I'm Salty.
I'm Cam.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Cam, a.k.a. Corey Hart over here.
Sunglasses at night. Yeah.
Well, it is daytime.
Yeah.
I left my other glasses in the car.
Okay.
I didn't realise until we're up here.
That's fair enough.
All right. Sorry about that. Sorry for being cool.
Wow.
At least someone is.
Cam, you do not need to apologise.
All right. Well, shall we begin the show?
Yeah.
This is a great way to begin the new year.
I'd love to know what we're talking about.
Welcome back, everyone listening.
Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed our Christmas special.
Yeah. So that was a sort of a sneak peek into the world of the Patreon.
Yeah.
For all you non-Patreon people.
So if you want to get on board with that, patreon.com/hypothopod.
Hypothopod.
Patreon.com/hypothopod. Before we begin, of course, we will thank Tom, our cooked $33 sponsor.
Thanks, Tom.
Way to be cooked.
All right. Today we are talking about Belgian conspiracies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a random one.
The hotbed of conspiracy theories, Belgium.
It's a hotbed of, I guess, two world wars had their main fronts there.
Mm.
Hotbed of a lot of tragedy.
Yeah. Hotbed of beer manufacturing.
Chocolate. They do have a few conspiracies.
Yeah. French fries, we should add as well. There's a French fry museum in Bruges.
Yep, Belgian fries, they call them.
They just call them fries.
There's
get some curry mayo on them when you're there. Delicious.
Yeah. There's a few big Belgian conspiracies, as it turned out.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about two of them today. Just an honorary mention to a couple of the others. We might come back to this at a later date. But the Gladio network was apparently very active in Belgium.
Child sex ring?
Post-World War II. No, this was an anti-communist underground network that stuck around for way longer than they were supposed to.
Right.
There's also a huge conspiracy in Belgium that a lot of politicians and elite people were involved in a massive pedophile ring. This is long before Pizzagate. And it was partly because they did have a bit of a nasty pedophile murderer who got caught and said, well, if you think I'm bad, you should see bloody PM when he's down my place.
Having some waffles. Wafflegate is what they call it.
Yeah.
Over there.
There were a lot of sus things about that case. I think something like 20 witnesses mysteriously died.
Okay.
Yeah.
He kept on getting let out by the police. At one point, he was in jail and there were people locked up in his basement and no one checked his house to check whether there was anyone locked in the basement.
Okay.
And they died.
Right.
At one point, he paid a police informant money to get him people to kill.
Okay.
And said, I'm just building some cages in my basement. And the police informant didn't feel like that was worth mentioning to the police.
Kind of missing a core tenet of being a police informant.
Yeah, it's step one. You got to inform. So there was heaps of stuff up, including also the bit where he was like, "I'm part of a huge government conspiracy."
So we aren't talking about that today.
No, but that did lead to the complete reformation of the Belgian police force. That case and a few other things. I think some of the stuff we're talking about today also might have played a role in that.
Okay.
In everything we talk about today, the Belgian police don't come out looking that great.
No, they seem to either drop the ball or just not do stuff.
Yeah. They bumble
Yeah.
sometimes. Is the Jacques Clouseau? Is that the Inspector Clouseau? Is he Belgian? Yeah.
I think he...
Was he French?
No, I think he was French.
Can we get a fact check on that?
Inspector...
A fact check in aisle 2?
Clouseau.
French. He was French. But depending on which part of France, he might have been on the border.
But he wasn't a bumbling detective, was he? Wasn't he like super good?
No, but he was...
Clouseau was like the...
He's the Pink Panther man.
I think Clouseau might have bumbled a bit. Poirot was Belgian.
Poirot is who I was thinking of, yeah.
Poirot, the famously competent Belgian detective.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Clouseau, the bumbling Pink Panther.
Right.
Man. Yeah.
Poirot, not a stereotype the Belgian police force earned.
No.
in anything we're talking about today.
Other notable Belgian things. Lucky Luke.
Yep.
Asterix and Obelix. They were a Franco publication thing.
What's Flemish?
That's part of Belgium.
Right. Flemington? Flemland?
No, it's just like a region.
Right.
So I think, what is Ghent or Bruges Flemish?
Right.
So yeah.
Do they speak Flemish?
Yeah, which is similar to Dutch.
Right. And other places in Belgium speak
French. And English as well. So yeah.
Right.
So the first thing we're going to talk about today is the Belgian UFO wave of 1989.
Whew. What about it?
There's a bunch of bloody UFOs, wasn't there, Robbo?
There certainly was.
But differing from a lot of the UFO things we talk about, in that the people that were seeing them were not... the people who were seeing the UFOs were not rednecks off their faces on PCP out in the middle of nowhere. They were, proper respectable gendarmes.
Yes. What is a gendarme?
I think it's like a cop. Is it like an unofficial cop?
I think it's a policeman, but they're more affiliated with the military.
Yeah, so it's a former...
So they're actually more credible than a normal cop because they're also a troop.
So it says they were the former paramilitary police force of Belgium. It became a civilian police organisation in 1992 until 2001 when it was just all abolished, and then the thing you're talking about.
Right.
So they went from paramilitary when 89, when this was kicking off, and then they became civilian in 92. So...
Because after all the cooked UFO ones, they had to fire them.
Yeah.
They were like, now we need to reform the gendarmes.
One of the things I read, because there's basically the root of this was two of these guys were driving along, saw some lights, followed it for a bit. Oh, UFO. One of the things I read said, we know they're not lying because they're police, and sorry, no, they're not lying, and they probably weren't drunk because they're police.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're police in Belgium.
Yeah.
Famously drunken country.
And as we'd find just a short decade later, famously corrupt police force.
Yes. Yeah. Full of lies. Their police are full of lies.
So they seen a triangle shape in the sky.
Yep.
With lights. It seemed to operate in a way that was not like any sort of plane.
Standard UFO gear.
Yep. And then, so from there, a lot of other people said they saw UFOs over the next 2 years, including one which is kind of the most famous one where they scrambled F-16s to intercept the targets. 3 occasions they managed to obtain radar lock on these UFOs, but they never applauded to actually see anything. Yeah.
They kept pinging up on the radar, and then they would appear as if they'd moved somewhere else really quickly or underground.
Yeah.
And all over the place.
Yeah.
And when they had the radar lock, why didn't they just fire?
Well, it's a good thing they didn't fire. Because when their radar lock was on these unidentified flying objects, it was actually on the other planes that were out there looking for them.
Oh, well.
Once again, showing the somewhat less than competent.
Yeah.
So,
like something like 400 sightings.
Yeah.
This UFO in a country of, what, 500 people? 600 people?
Yeah, just under 500.
12. About 12.
So, no, there was only ever one photograph taken.
11 million.
11 million people. So, but 400, not everyone's going to be looking up at the sky at the same time.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of reports after the fact too. I think there was a psychologist who came out and said, I think a lot of this is a psychosocial phenomenon, because once it got heavily reported in the media, a lot of other people come back and went, oh yeah, I was out that night and saw some lights.
Yeah.
I saw them too. Yeah. Oh, me too. Yeah.
So there's this organisation called SOBEP. I think their full name.
SOBEP's the Belgian Society for the Study of Space Phenomenon.
Now, surely that's a red flag. That they're called SOBEPs and the doesn't correspond to their name at all.
You know, I hadn't really thought of that.
It's in a different language. It'll be French, I think. Oh
yeah, I suppose.
Always making excuses.
So the SOBEPs, basically when they heard these, the police sort of reports, the initial report, they started really pushing it out there. Because one of the theories is that it was a mass delusion, you know, all these sightings over a period of time. But then people point to the fact that, well, 2 police started it. You know, how could it be a mass delusion? But the SOBEPs, I think they were like on the last legs at this point. Like it had been going for 30 years, this organisation. And I think they had no funding and no one cared, and their membership was declining.
Yeah, it was a Belgium-specific UFO.
Yeah. And then suddenly this thingy comes along, and they're just like, yeah, it's 100% true. So they started really hyping it up and then pushing it out there, and that's what led to then years of people. I think the SOBEP has since it no longer exists,
right?
Because there's no more sightings.
The guy from SOBEP wrote a book about it. I come across a thing talking about August Messen was one of the head guys of SOBEP. He was a professor of physics. So he wrote a book. His stance on it was always, this is absolutely proof of aliens visiting Earth. And his book that he wrote about it was basically entirely, this is the book. This is about what happened when the UFOs were sighted, and they were 100% aliens.
Yeah.
But then I found some stuff about how he, like, the government people who were looking at it as well brought out this report that was classified. But part of the report was to do with, like, changes in air pressure and air temperature, which create phenomenon that pops up on radars. They refer to them as angels.
Okay.
Where something in the sky just kind of registers, but it's just all to do with changes in barometric pressure or whatever. And I read a thing that people reckon the government brought out this report that was classified. This guy brought out his book, which was like, it's aliens. And the government and him struck a deal where they let him read that report, and then next minute, the second edition of that book comes out, and it's no longer 100% it was aliens.
Right.
It could have been aliens, or it could have been this phenomenon called angels. That's this thing that happens.
Yeah.
But in the book, he claimed that was his idea. And this government document backs me up 100%. So people think the government and him struck a deal where he'll change his story because the government didn't want him to be exposing the fact that aliens were real and aliens had visited.
So one of the things I read was that he was like, besides being a little bit cooked, he was sort of like a well-respected academic. And that even though the report was classified, his like colleagues in academia were like, oh, this is so embarrassing. We're just going to show you this report so that you're across the issue of this radar shit.
Yeah.
And maybe if you want to dial in the alien gear, you won't get like written off for the rest of your career.
Yeah.
So just a note on their membership. It started in 1971 and it had 1,750 members at its peak. And it had been rapidly declining down to 500 come 1985.
Right.
What I'm implying is he set it all up as a membership drive.
Yeah.
Well,
I think he's behind it all.
Was there a spike after 89?
Doesn't say. But they lasted to 2007.
Yeah. So I think one of the other things the report found was that the first sighting was probably a helicopter.
Yeah.
It's like almost definitely a helicopter.
Well, I read a quite a long essay. When I say I read, I skimmed through it and looked at the pictures.
Yeah.
And someone had compared each description of each sighting around for those, 3 years or whatever, to helicopters that were being used in the area at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like eyewitness sketches, and then he had pictures of the actual helicopter.
Yeah.
And they were pretty similar.
Yeah.
Like he down to the lights on the sides, and he's
some of the descriptions are also like it was a triangle with lights on it, and then a couple were it was a triangle with lights with a pole sticking out the back with something on it, like a helicopter rotor.
Some of the sightings were also just Venus.
Yeah.
Right.
Which was also cops saying that. So the thing was, it wasn't just these two cops / troops who we must respect who'd seen it. It was like a bunch of them. There was like of the 400 or so sightings, I think 70 was gendarme.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 individual groups of them.
But they're like, so can you just point out where exactly it was? And they're like, oh, right over there, about where Venus would be.
Yeah,
just behind that planet there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. One of the guys that is quite prominent pushing it is Wilfred de Brouwer, Major General Wilfred de Brouwer. Don't know why I set myself up to say his name twice. He's you can look him up on YouTube and stuff, and he's always talking about how it's completely true and it's been covered up. And he was the chief of operations at the time. But I just think he's
chief of operations of what?
Of the Air Force.
Oh, right.
But I think he's just cooked.
Yeah.
Right.
And weirdly, one of the interviews I watched, one of his eyes was 100% red, and he's getting old, so maybe old, yeah. It's just like, oh, this is a little bit. I can't trust you. You cooked,
yeah,
and you bloody cooked a blood vessel in your brain.
What if you'd put an eye patch on though? Would that have made him more trustworthy?
Yes, I trust pirates.
You'd trust a cooked ex-general with an eye patch?
More so. Yeah.
Would it be because you're like, oh yeah, he's done his time. He's obviously copped that in a battle.
What is that? Probably some shrapnel that he's got in the eye.
Yeah.
Fight on, Major
Thanks
General.
for your service.
Yeah. But yeah, he is seen to be really cooked.
Do you think he was just really embarrassed that they had fucked up the radar stuff so bad? They were like, oh, no, it had to have been aliens if we couldn't get them.
One of the things he concludes, he basically says, in short, the UFO wave was exceptional and the Air Force could not identify the nature, origin, and intentions of the reported phenomena. He basically, he's got diagrams. If you read one of his essays, there's pictures he's drawn, and
But when he listens to this podcast, he's going to realise what a fool he's been, because we didn't even wait a little bit before we said what it actually was. Again, this was our New Year's resolution.
The other thing were the famous photo.
Oh, yeah, so of the 400-something sightings, they only managed to take one photo.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that the preverts and perverts of Belgium didn't have cameras on hand for their dogging? The
famous Belgian dogging.
Man, I hope no Belgians listen to this. I really like Belgium. I want to go back there.
Yeah.
Don't get me banned from the country.
They didn't have a Polaroid on hand to snap a proper photo of this UFO?
Oh, I think it'd be tough to snap a photo of a UFO with a Polaroid.
Or any sort of camera? No, only one person had it. And then a few years later, they invited the media into their house and they showed them all of the other photos they'd taken of, I think it was a pizza box with a torch in it.
A bit of styrofoam.
Yeah. And it was cropped, it's just this really tightly cropped picture of a UFO. But again, that's something that people still say is 100% true. And it was used, I think, up until 2002, I think, is when he came clean.
Right.
2011, sorry.
So that's model make some UFOs and we can take some UFO photos. Try and spread.
Yeah, do it. Stick it at you. Or you shouldn't tell anyone first.
No.
Cut that. So it was a sheet of styrofoam cut into a triangle, painted black, and there's a flashlight embedded in each corner, and then it hung from a string. So he had taken many photos until the one that they thought was right, because it's just kind of blurry, and people tried to recreate it in like photo editing software at the time, and they couldn't.
They couldn't, because it needed to be the reality of styrofoam.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what made it look really realistic was the Unsolved Mysteries reenactment.
Oh, I saw a bit of that. I didn't see all of it.
Now that really sells it. If that is what had happened, I'd be like, yeah, fair enough.
Is that what pilled you?
Oh, that's right. You said you'd
got
buying
pilled.
this.
Well, I got pilled before I knew how fake everything was. Because, look, even though I was joking about respecting the troops, there were so many cops involved.
Right.
That I was like, oh, well, you know, they're cops, right? Cops.
For a bloody socialist. Are you a socialist? Do you describe yourself as a socialist?
I would describe myself as an anarcho-syndicalist.
Yeah. So for whatever that is, you certainly love cops, don't you? The cops, they wouldn't lie.
They weren't just cops, though. They were troops as well.
Oh, they wouldn't lie either. Troops and cops have never done anything untrustworthy.
But then this is before I realised that the Belgian police force had been completely disbanded.
Yeah.
For being so untrustworthy.
But before that, so yesterday, or whenever you're researching this, prior to that, you thought all cops and all military were telling the truth at all times.
No, I thought there was like 70 cops, right? And they weren't all mates.
Yeah.
I was like, I can understand a few cops getting together for a criminal conspiracy.
Yeah.
Perhaps to commit a series of bank robberies that would shake Belgium to its core.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another reason why they had to disband the police. But I didn't think that like 70 would get together. But then I'd forgotten that the cops in Belgium are bumbling.
Yeah, right. Not that people in positions of authority regularly abuse it.
They had to send bloody Clouseau out there as a Frenchman to get the heat off Belgium.
Do you think that's why Poirot was like devised in the first place? Look, our cops and investigators are just so fucking terrible. Hey, author, whoever wrote Poirot, Agatha Christie or whatever, bang out some books. we need a positive image of the police here.
That's a lot of Hollywood movies. Top Gun.
Yeah.
It wasn't because the Air Force was bumbling, but they needed a good recruitment campaign, and Top Gun comes along.
Yeah.
Everyone sees buff dudes playing volleyball, and they're like, yep.
Meanwhile,
I'm into that.
Over in France, the cops are so sharp on their strict diet of baguettes and blue cheese. they don't need any of this because they're onto it. They're solving the crimes.
So they need to have Inspector Clouseau to downplay how good they are.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, all the criminals are just they're not gonna say anything that'll drop them in it, drop themselves in it.
Or they'll just hang up their hats.
Yeah.
No more crimes.
These cops are too good.
Yeah.
Too sharp.
No point.
All this butter sharpens you up.
It does. Famously.
Butter and wine.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think this has run its course. Do we have anything else for this?
No. All right. How about we take a break and then we'll come back to talk about the Ghent altarpiece. I don't love cops.
You think they're famously honest?
No, look, we're not going to re-prosecute this. All right? Now let's talk about some more fucking cooked Belgian cops.
So what are we talking about? What's this one all about?
Now we're talking about the most stolen piece of art in history.
Whoa.
The altarpiece of Ghent.
Some people say the most important piece of art in history too. It's apparently the first oil painting.
Yep.
In the method of painting with oil paints. They used oils for other things, but...
Right.
Like it was used for something else in painting, they used oil.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think this was the first time that oil-based paint was used for this kind of artwork.
It's a polytriptych.
Yep. What does that mean?
Well,
Means
it's
it's
a triptych.
Multiple panels.
Oh, okay.
You know, a triptych with 3 panels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Old Van Eyck was like 3.
Yeah. 24 motherfuckers.
Was it, 12 each.
12 on each side.
And by each artist, because it's a two-man job.
Yeah.
Hubert?
Bros.
Yeah. It is Hubert Van Eyck, right? Yeah, your notes there?
Hubert and Joseph or something? Joe?
And John.
John?
Jan.
Jan. No, I think there's debate around who painted it.
Yeah, there is. We're getting to that. We're
Okay.
building up to it.
Hubert and Jan Van Eyck.
Hubert and Jan Van Eyck. So on the painting, the thing is, Hubert Van Eyck never did any other painting that we know of.
Yeah.
Jan Van Eyck is sort of a famous painter.
Mm.
On the painting, it says it's signed. It says by Hubert Van Eyck and by Jan Van Eyck, the second best Van Eyck.
Does it really say that?
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's like, wait, who wrote that?
Yeah. The other one.
It's my understanding that most people believe Hubert designed the whole thing because it's what is it, 11 feet high, and it folds in. So it's most of the year it's folded in, and you're looking at one piece of art, and then you open it during celebrations, and there's more art.
Yeah, it's like Mad Magazine.
Just like Mad Magazine.
Yeah. The first oil painting and the first
Mad Magazine
folding. Yeah.
And yeah, Hubert designed it, and Jan painted it allegedly.
Yeah.
Politically.
There's also a conspiracy theory that there never was two brothers.
Right.
Oh.
That Hubert Van Eyck was part of a cult which worshipped John from Revelations.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And that he changed his name to Jan as like a little tribute to John.
Oh.
But that's bullshit.
Right. So this painting, it's big.
Big. It's religious.
Yep. Lives in Ghent.
Yep.
In the cathedral there.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much covers all of Christianity across it. When you've got 24 panels, you've got plenty of room to fit in.
Did we say the name of it?
It's the altarpiece of Ghent, but it's also known as...
The something of the Mystic Lamb. The Adoration of the Mystic Lamb. Or the Ghent masterpiece.
Did you guys look at the actual lamb in there?
Yeah, it's fucking knifed.
Yeah, it's bleeding out the side. It's just standing there chilling out.
Yeah.
People are just looking at it.
It's the Lamb of God, mate.
It's Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's a bit paganistic. Just having a lamb.
Yeah. When I first looked at it, I was like, oh, is this the whole, like, no false idols thing coming out? And it's like, these guys are worshipping this lamb, so then they're going to get fucked up shortly. But then I was like, oh, no, it's like the Lamb of God. It's representative of Jesus and the blood.
Jesus is referred to as the Lamb in the Bible. There's a theory that perhaps they've done him up as a proper lamb in this because the patron of the church was a big wool guy.
Okay. Right.
And so they're like, there's a little sheep in there for you.
Yeah.
Just Jesus.
Combining my two interests, wool and people bleeding.
Yeah.
Cool. That sounds interesting.
But there's like I didn't quite follow all of the discussion of this, but there's like another depiction of God or of Jesus. It's like
as the king,
but he doesn't have any of the holes in his arms or anything. And they're like, what does that mean? It's like, well, maybe they're like, oh, he's whacked on some band-aids.
Yeah, because is the king figure representative of God, or I thought maybe that was God, and then the lamb was Jesus. But then I also saw referred to him as being Jesus as the king.
Yeah.
Because he's got bloody John the Baptist next to him.
Yeah.
And Virgin Mary.
Yeah, right.
I think they doubled up on their Jesuses. But yeah, a lot gets made of the fact that he's got no holes in his arms. It's like, well, you're not going to... If you've come back as the king, aren't you going to, like, patch yourself up?
But isn't that one of the things people say when Jesus comes back? The first thing to do is check his arms, check his hands, so you know he's authentic.
Well, but
he's not having big holes. It's fake. Get out of here.
Who's saying that, though?
Oh.
Because I bet it wouldn't... I bet if Jesus had his druthers, he wouldn't be like, make sure you check my hands. He'd be like, I'd like to be able to, play golf without the bloody putter going through my fist.
They would have healed up by now.
Yeah, that's my point. It's healed up.
Yeah, okay. But
he's had cosmetic surgery.
Okay.
He's gotten the scars removed.
You know how, like...
It's very vain.
You know how people say, like...
Famously vain.
Look at the little disabled kid and then they pass away, and they're like, but now he's running around in heaven.
Yeah.
He's like,
okay.
It's like when, isn't it accepted that when you go to heaven, all the things that are wrong with you are just like wiped away?
Don't need me glasses anymore.
Yeah.
As cool as they make me look.
Look at old Whistle Hands Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not
All
anymore.
healed up.
Yeah.
Stop calling me Whistle Hands, guys. I healed them. Anyway.
That'd be annoying when he played golf, when he swung.
Someone on the other tee. Hey!
Shut up, Jesus.
So, it's quite a bit going on.
Yep.
Should we get on to some of the thefts of the painting?
Yeah. I can't imagine, what did I say, it was 11 feet high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As big as a barn door.
It was most of the thefts happened during wartime, right?
Yeah.
They weren't necessarily dun 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 like sneaky thefts where people snuck in.
What's the movie where Cinnaman's playing? Is he stealing a painting? That one.
Cinnaman?
Yeah. Cinnaman. The heist or something. The client. At us. Tell
John
us.
Grisham's the client.
Whatever which one it is.
So there were more. It was more that where it was got fucked over by an opposing army, and they took the painting away somewhere else.
I'm curious about what movie you're thinking about. You thinking of with Pierce Brosnan?
Yeah, that makes sense. He in Cinnaman.
The Arthur Crown Affair?
Yeah.
The Thomas Crown Affair.
The Thomas Crown Affair.
The one Cam said like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I was just double checking. It plays throughout a scene where Pierce Brosnan is stealing a painting from a museum.
Right. Haven't seen it.
All right.
It's a good movie.
Anyway, it's all immaterial because that's not what the sort of heist these were. These was just...
They were just flogged by armies.
Yeah, we've killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Let's get our loot.
Yeah.
So I think the first person to steal it was Napoleon.
Yeah.
Stole it from the chapel, the church. Mm-hmm. Who brought it back?
I think they got it back as war reparations.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Both times.
I did read someone disputing that and saying Napoleon didn't take it, he just borrowed it to keep it safe.
Right.
Because he respected it so much.
Well, that was the same reason. That was the same excuse that Hitler gave for wanting it, right?
So then it gets stolen again in World War One.
Yeah.
By the Germans, who bloody love it. And then it gets given back as reparations again.
Yeah.
Then it gets stolen again in World War Two by the Nazis.
Right.
Who put it in...
Who are also German.
Yeah. But now they're Nazis.
Yeah.
But before they stole it, it was moved. So Germany and Belgium and I think France signed a pact saying this painting's really significant. We're going to move it here for safekeeping in France.
You know what they should have done first?
Yeah.
When they were signing that pact, also put in P.S. Don't invade and murder anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
Make that a crucial part of the pact.
Yeah.
Well, no, but that wouldn't have mattered because Hitler was steamed about this pact.
Yeah.
He was
he didn't like the pact.
He was like, I really feel like this should be in Germany.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it got moved to France.
Yeah.
And then Hitler was like, no, fuck that. Go get it.
Right.
And bring it to me. Now, at this point, the one of the panels was already missing, right?
Yeah, so that happened before this. So
Yeah.
it ends up in a salt mine in Germany, where it then gets stolen back from the Germans by the Monument Men, by Brad Pitt and company, George Clooney.
George Clooney.
Or whoever it was.
I think it was George
any
Clooney.
good?
Don't know.
I didn't see it. It didn't look good. It looked awful. Watching Glorious Bastards instead.
Yeah, and imagine that they steal a painting back from the Nazis at some point.
Watch Inglourious Bastards, then cut in the Thomas Crown Affair scene, and then watch the rest of the movie.
So...
It's a good movie. I'd watch that.
In between the World Wars, though, there was another heist, which was the heist of the one of the panels.
Two of the panels.
Two of the panels, which are called...
John the Baptist panel.
Yep.
And the other panel was called the Righteous Judges. Righteous Judges? Something like that.
Yeah, yeah. John the Baptist keeps on coming up on this one.
Well, he's in the painting.
Yeah.
Good point.
So those two panels got stolen by someone, and then they wrote to the government or whatever and was like, look, I've got the panels. I want 1 million francs or whatever. Sent them back the John the Baptist panel as a sign of goodwill.
Yeah.
The other panel, never been seen again.
When it was first stolen, and there's a bit of a ruckus, people are gathering around, copper turns up,
Yep.
Yeah, should probably investigate the crime of the most significant painting panel in all of the world, right?
Well, it's Belgium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know Belgians, they love their beer, they love their fries, they love their chocolate.
Probably some, like, cheese.
They love their cheese.
They love their cheese. So, I don't know why this doesn't get incorporated in the conspiracy. There'd been a cheese robbery across the street. And he's like, I know the first 48 hours are critical to any investigation.
Yeah.
Particularly on cheese.
Particularly cheese.
Yeah, which is...
It might get left out and go bad.
It's a perishable.
Yeah.
A painting's not going to go off.
It's been here for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It's probably still going to be in hundreds of years.
Now, some people might have said, officer, the cheese is by definition has already gone off. You can leave it.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I want to make sure the cheese is fine.
We better investigate this cheese robbery.
Need to get the wash on this washed rind.
So he started investigating the cheese robbery, and it wasn't until a little bit later that they got onto the most valuable painting of all time across the road.
This motherfucker comes back smelling like cheese.
Yeah.
All right. Well, little crumb hanging off his wing.
So, yeah. And it kind of never really... There's so much of the investigation that just kind of didn't get handled very well. Like, the person who wrote and said, I've got the painting, I'm going to, I want all this money for it. No one told the police about that for ages.
Right.
There was also a guy from the local community had a heart attack at some big Catholic festival in town. And on his deathbed, he said, oh, by the way, just have a little look in my drawer there where I've got the ransom notes and the unsent ransom note that I didn't send yet.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that knows where
this
the
thing
painting
is.
His name was Gautier.
Yeah.
He was a stockbroker, very wealthy stockbroker.
He was incredibly wealthy. Like Thomas Crown, he didn't need to steal.
No.
But when people were like, he didn't need to steal, they didn't think about this Thomas Crown thing that I just brought up.
Yeah.
It's just Thomas Crown just steals for the love of stealing.
Now, was it his son who also had some stuff to say on his deathbed?
Oh, I don't know.
I believe it might have been his son. So he had a son, and this ties back into the fucking police thing. So I'm pretty sure it was his son, when he died, was incoherent and rambling, and he kept saying the words police, thieves.
Oh.
Police, thieves.
Oh, yeah. Police and thieves.
On the streets.
I don't know this song.
Anyway. What does that mean, Salty?
Well, that means that, maybe the cop fucked off to the cheese robbery because he knew his mates were nearby with the bloody painting.
Yeah.
But
a wheel of brie to celebrate.
Some of the clues that they found in this guy's drawer talked about, I think the unsent ransom note said the painting is somewhere that whether I or the police found it and pulled it out, it would be in plain view to the public.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to nick it again without anyone noticing.
Without the public seeing.
Yeah.
But he also said somewhere along the line, if you wanted to find this painting,
it's a very long deathbed confession.
If you want to find
just prior, I think he said a few things prior.
Yeah.
He kept on dropping little hints throughout his life.
If you want to find the painting, you don't have to leave the vicinity of the church.
Yeah, this was straight after it happened and everyone was searching. He said, I think to his wife, I wouldn't look so far. If they'd let me search for it, I'd stay in the vicinity of the cathedral. People took that to mean literally or figuratively in terms of it's the church or the parish that have done it.
There is some evidence for it being a figurative thing.
Yeah.
So the other thing about this guy who's supposed to have stolen this painting that he didn't need, he had no need for the ransom. He was also half blind.
Yep.
So maybe a nighttime cathedral heist might have been a bit of an ask.
Of a giant painting?
Of a gigantic painting. This one half blind guy is supposed to have taken down. So you would have at least needed a ladder.
Yeah.
So the going theory, or one of the going theories, is that people from within the church were involved. There may have been some sort of church investment that had gone wrong. And so that they needed to recoup this money. But again, if he's
they saw that cheese shop across the road going gangbusters.
If he's part of some sort of church investment that's gone wrong and they need $1 million to cover it, to cover the shortfall, he's got way more than $1 million.
Yeah.
Now, was the painting heist just a cover for the cheese heist.
And that policeman was really on the ball.
Yeah.
So he was like, the cops, I think, wrapped up the case and said, nah, definitely him. But then...
Sort of. It's.
But then people went, oh, no, actually, it's probably not.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense because he's blind.
Yeah.
When the Nazis got the painting, Hitler was steamed that there was a bit missing.
Yeah.
He sent his own investigator out to go find it. Couldn't turn anything up, even with his keen Nazi senses.
He's got people out looking for the Madonna with the missing boobie. And now the panel of this one as well. Hitler can't get a bloody painting intact.
So there's a few theories about why Hitler had such a hard-on for the painting. One of them is just that he was angry that they had to give it back after World War One, and so then when he got the incomplete painting, he's like, "What is this?
What does a guy have to do around here?"
Well, I think also at that point, the panel was there, but it was a reproduction.
No, so that happens after.
Does it? Happened in 1938.
That happens after they get the painting back from the Nazis.
Yeah, so Hitler had an incomplete painting.
Yeah.
Hitler wanted it bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, one of the reasons is they think he just really wanted it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't ask for 23 out of 24 panels.
He was an art lover. He was a painter.
Yeah.
Asked for the whole thing. The other theory, of course, is that the entire painting is a map to find the Holy Grail, and the missing panel has the crucial missing piece of information required. Now, we do know that Hitler loved a little bit of Holy Grail searching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did have people out looking for the Holy Grail and the Spear of Destiny and all of those other mystical items that would be required to bring about his eternal victory and their return to Thule.
He actually sent people to the church. So I think he put together a team of researchers because... Again, it comes back to the Nazis just not focusing on war, focusing on getting distracted so easily. And they concluded that it was somewhere in the church as well still, and they searched everywhere and they couldn't find it.
Yeah. They didn't just have one team on it, there were competing Nazi teams searching for it.
And then the guy who failed to find it then sent to some front to fight.
Which, under my argument, he should have been where he should have been in the first place.
I think it was maybe it might have been Goring or someone.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, this will win me some brownie points.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, isn't Hitler going to be like, oh, so you beat my team?
No, I think Hitler would be I don't think Hitler cares about the team so much. He cares about the painting more.
So the Monument Men steal it back.
Yep.
They get it back in 1945.
Yep.
It's been badly damaged because they kept it in a salt mine. You can keep some things in a salt mine.
Yeah.
Keep film in a salt mine.
Right. Asthma sufferers.
Yep.
Fish. Probably fish.
Well, yeah, if you're curing them.
If you salt your fish.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't keep your painting in a salt mine.
No. Pickles. Keep your pickles in there.
Yeah.
So
your cat.
No, my
cat's cat down salt mine.
My cat's pickle singular. It's only one of them.
It got quite badly damaged and had to be restored.
Yeah.
And as part of their restoration, the restorer was like, why don't I just paint in that panel? We know what it looks like. We've got photos and things.
So that restorer,
what everyone was sooking about.
That restorer had already started work.
Yeah.
I think independently of everything else.
Yeah, it's a weird situation. So in 1938, a lawyer had contacted the government and said, I have an anonymous client who has the panel. They would like some money and it will be returned. And the government was like, no thanks. Just said no. So then the next year, that Jeff van der Vecken, who was an art conservator, just started doing a copy. He just started, I'm just going to start doing this.
Yeah.
Reproducing the panel. He wasn't asked to do it. No one was like, hey bro, you're good at painting. Can you reproduce this panel? So he did it. Why was he doing it?
Yeah, good question.
Now, he wrote something on the back of his panel that he reproduced.
Which was, this is the original panel by John Van Eyck.
Well, it's weird because he wrote...
Jan Van Eyck.
Yeah, he was actually Jan Van Eyck. That was a long time after. He wrote, I did it for love and for duty and to avenge myself. I borrowed from the dark side.
Ooh.
So, What was he doing? Why was he doing it?
And why did it have to be so dark?
Had he been contacted by the Nazis and said, "We need the rest of this map. We need you to recreate that panel"?
Maybe.
Had he been commissioned to do it by the people who stole it? Had he been like, were the people who stole it like, look, we're just going to fucking give it back.
Paint something
You pretend that you're painting a new one, but it'll just be the original one, and just fucking give it your own little twist.
So that's one of the theories, is that when they've put it back on, it's just the original panel.
Yeah.
So this bloke is pretty dodgy. He teamed up with a banker to basically restore a lot of the banker's paintings. This famous this banker was an art collector, but then it's alleged that he forged a whole bunch of things as well.
Right.
And he also allegedly forged a whole bunch of things, and then this guy sold them to the Nazis. He's working as an art restorer.
Is it so bad to rip off Nazis?
Well, but then it's saying that
Isn't that good?
He was he'd restored things, and then they got sold to the Nazis during the time of the proper Nazis. So I don't know. It's all pretty sus.
Yeah.
This guy. There's a few controversies around him, accusations of forgery and all these kinds of things. So
should we knock up some fake Banksies and go try and sell them to Blair Cottrell and all his mates?
Well played. So yeah,
a mystery that continues to this day.
Well, so the case now it's
still open, right?
Yeah. So they've never
closed the case, and there's one cop in Ghent who is always assigned to it.
Yeah.
Now, is that the shit job when you get transferred to Ghent?
I don't know. I would like that job.
Yeah,
that'd be great. Must be they've got like 26 feet worth of storage, which is just all documents relating to
the
heist
Yeah.
and the evidence over the years. It'd be great.
I'm sure that's not their only task.
Yeah.
Might have to solve a murder or something.
So I was talking to you guys earlier, and I said I'm going to Europe next year, and Ghent's only like an hour on the train from Rotterdam. Should I go to the church and check out the painting? Which I think I will.
Yeah, you should, especially with how convenient all of the trains are from Rotterdam. Amazing train network.
Yeah.
Really?
It's brilliant.
Yeah, right.
I walked straight out of the hotel, which I've already booked, straight onto the train.
All right. Also,
little pro tip there for anyone going to Rotterdam.
Also, a lovely Geneva bar in Ghent.
Right.
Which Geneva's the precursor to gin.
Okay.
A really small place, and they do lots of traditional Genevas.
So when I visit the cathedral, should I be keeping a sneaky eye for like concealment places? Maybe I can crack the case.
100%.
Could be hidden there.
Thought that was the sole reason you were going.
Could be down there.
Yeah.
I'll sit in some pews and feel underneath.
Yeah.
Just in case they've just jammed it up under a pew.
What if I just pull the statue down?
Yeah.
Ah.
The arm on that statue looks a bit loose.
Oh, I got told off in a second-hand / antique shop yesterday.
Pulling out a statue's arm?
No, there was like a bed head that was really like cheesy, and the guy, a mate of mine, said, "Oh, how about you get that one?" Because I'd mentioned we're looking at beds, and it was behind some things, and I kind of touched it, and then there must have been a block holding it up straight, and I had the block fall, and then I couldn't stand it upright again. And there was all this junk in the way, so I couldn't, and so I had to lean it slowly.
Yeah.
And the lady comes over and she's like, "How'd you go with that bed there, mate?"
Oh.
And I'm like, I leaned it because it fell over. Like, I don't know, get a sturdier fucking thing.
Jesus.
Yeah, you're the one selling it.
Yeah.
I like that we're going to see something on the news having found the missing bit of the Ghent art altarpiece. They're like, we didn't realise there were so many mushrooms. I reckon if it's your day to bring in waffles and you forget, then they're like, you're on the Ghent altarpiece case.
Right. Huh. No, I reckon it's a plummy. You don't just, because the person who cracks it is going to be a national hero.
Yeah.
And like any up and coming,
or a regional hero, right?
It's one of the most important paintings in the world.
They've already got it's not missing anymore.
Wow, it is though.
They've got a bit in there.
Yeah. And it might be the real bit.
Yeah.
I still don't really know.
Yeah.
So they've done some big searches of the church though, and they've x-rayed the walls.
Yeah.
And haven't turned it up.
Up to 10 meters deep, or 10 feet maybe, the x-ray machine. So
the perfect hiding place is 11 feet deep
Yes.
inside the church.
So yeah, look 11 feet deep, salty.
Okay, I'll put my X-ray specs on.
Yeah. Looking forward to some updates from Salto.
Yeah, I'll report back.
And let us know how you go with the Geneva.
Yeah. And if I do find it and find the little bloody hiding place where like the Spear of Longinus and all the Jesus' nails and shit are,
yeah,
I'll let you know.
All right.
Yeah, and please be merciful to us.
Yeah.
Can you cut us in on this?
Maybe.
All right, good. I'll take a maybe.
Yeah.
Great. All right. That's the first episode of 2019.
Imagine that. Imagine if that was like the bit that... if poor old John, the evangelist or whatever his name was, writing Revelations, looking into the future, he's trying to make sense of it all. He's like, and the demon had 3 heads, and one of them was wearing a little red hat. He spoke with a funny voice.
One of them was cool and wore his glasses inside all the time.
For the record, I'm wearing a red hat. That is true for the listeners.
It's not a Trump hat.
It's not a Trump hat.
Actually, it's a Belgian beer hat.
Not from Belgium, but it's a brewery called New Belgium.
New Belgium, right.
It is red, and it does... I sometimes am wary of wearing it around, but it's a nice hat.
Yeah.
At any rate...
They should have gone for Neo Belgium.
That has been our first episode for 2019. Sorry, Robert.
But please stay around for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Jump on Patreon if you're not on there. There's a lot of good content.
Sure is. Where do people find us?
You can find us on Twitter, twitter.com/hypothepod. We're on Facebook. We are on all of the streaming platforms, for example, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, etc.
Yep. Hypothepod.com will take you to somewhere.
Yep.
Cookedunits.com will take you to some merch.
Cool.
And you can find Robbo.
You can get me at aleofatime.com. You can probably buy my book if you like still. If you've got a book voucher for Christmas.
Yeah, perfect.
Buy my book.
Yeah.
Keg, bottle, can.
Buy yourself a little book that you wouldn't normally buy.
Yeah. Wow.
Unnecessary burn.
Salty?
You can get me at Saltmarsh on Instagram and Twitter, Andrew Saltmarsh Illustration Facebook, and check out Toyhada on Patreon.
And you can find me twitter.com/Saxonheimer. Gather around me on Facebook and iTunes for my other podcast. And you can get my book, Hot Knockers, the Amazon Kindle store, for like 79 cents. Much more affordable than a keg, bottle, can.
What cut do you get on 79 cents?
So far I've made $0.
Really?
Yeah, because I've got to sell like 300 of these before they can give me any money.
All right.
It's only been 6 years or something.
Jesus. Did they give you an advance?
No, you don't get an advance from Kindle.
Jesus.
But yeah,
self-publishing.
No advance, but you don't make any money till you've sold 600 units. Yeah. How does that work?
A lot of people get Amazon gift cards these days. You can get them at the Servo.
Do you know how many you've sold? Did Salty ask that?
I asked how much of a cut he gets of 79 cents.
Okay. I think I've sold like 100 of them.
I bought it.
Okay.
Salty, did you buy it?
No, I'll buy it tonight.
Yeah.
Good.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I got a couple of chuckles.
Oh, fuck. Tell you what, though. Jumped on Goodreads yesterday.
Yeah.
There was a 1-star review on Goodreads.
Really?
Someone you know?
I know.
Yeah, it's great. Someone coughed up 79 cents for Hot Knockers, Knock Knock Joke Book, and then slammed it on Goodreads.
Got a 1-star.
That person's my icon. I'm going to look that up.
Have you had any bad reviews, Robbo?
I don't think I've had any reviews.
Surely.
I haven't looked. No, surely not.
He hasn't.
Yeah.
I Google it heaps, but I've never seen other than the token newspaper ones.
Right, I'll go review it.
You don't even dare, unless it's good.
That's all. You can stop recording now.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Don't worry about a thing, except if all our world leaders are alien reptilians. I said don't worry about a thing, except maybe the fluoride in our water supply contains mind-altering drugs. Don't worry about a thing, except whether or not Port Arthur was a false flag operation in which to disarm Australia. I said don't worry about a thing. I accept you can definitely hear John Lennon say I buried Paul at the end of Strawberry Fields Forever. Ooh, don't worry about a thing, except not only did Bush do 9/11, but he also keeps the planes out in Area 51, which, let's not forget, where all of the aliens are. Don't worry Trump is clearly a woman, and you're just blind if you can't see that. Why don't you